Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome,
so Jeff.
back.
When I look down this ladder, I wonder about this mob farm.
Yeah. It's perfect. I'm on one of the floors too, and I definitely left a patch of cobble where there's not supposed to be a patch of cobble as well.
Well, what's going on at the very bottom of this ladder?
I'll get into that later.
I think there's a lot of mobs down here, Jeff.
There could be. I mean, did you screw something up with the mob farm?
I mean, this was really your thing.
I'm talking like, did you try to sabotage it after I wasn't looking? I'm pretty confident. Pretty confident that's what happened. Yeah, you were bringing back the pranks. You're just gonna let it go for
I think they just spawned on here actually.
Oh really? It's
just real dark down here. Yeah, I went all the way down. I'm real brave. Put that on my tombstone.
Oh yeah. I mean, me too. I guarantee if there was a gunman, even if I was unarmed, I would have run in there.
But yeah, it looks fine. I think it's fine.
What do you think about the Georgia Republican governor?
I don't know.
Or not? Excuse me, not a governor. I think he has a congressman or something. Who's yelling at Delta about the whole cutting ties with the NRA?
Don't yell at Delta. That's rude.
Yeah. Well, they apparently dropped their their contract with the NRA. Where I guess they offered discounts and stuff to any NRA members and asked the NRA to remove Delta as a sponsor from the NRA's website or whatever. And this Republican lawmaker or congressman, he basically made a speech either yesterday or today ostracizing Delta and telling them that if they won't reinstate their affiliation with the NRA, he's going to ensure that there's the tax breaks that help them save money on jet fuel will no longer apply.
Did you say Georgia?
Yeah.
Oh man, Atlanta's their hub.
Yeah. Yeah. But what do you think about utilizing like a company to company is like, company removing a sponsorship from another company due to whatever beliefs or whatnot they have about, obviously the issue of gun control in this case. Then you bring the political side into it,
right? That feels like bullshit. I mean, I'm a little biased here on this topic.
I mean,
so I don't know if I can give an unbiased opinion.
Yeah, and I'd love
my opinion is biased, I guess.
I'd love to hear an unbiased one too, because it's because I just to me it's all of a sudden and granted, yeah, people can argue that it's all a political issue no matter what. And sure, a lot of things are political issues no matter how you want to slice them. Like, they come down to politics in some way, shape, or form. But when lawmakers are literally threatening a company, saying that you're going to make sure that there's no taxes, or they will remove the tax breaks that they have because they don't have an affiliation with the NRA, like, I don't know, that's kind of crossing a line in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but again, biased.
Curious to see what that one's what's gonna come out of that.
I brought up in the last episode the whole doctors killing 6% more people, and we didn't really get to talk about it.
Yeah, that's right.
We got sidetracked. I didn't know that was a thing though. I guess I never thought about that. It's kind of like the mechanic's first day on the job or whatever. It might break the car a little bit more than the average person. But I guess I never thought about the doctor's first day on the job and how he might kill a few people.
Well, and I'll tell you, it's really interesting because being in the medical field, and like I said, for us it was always June and July, and I thought that was standard across the nation. But June and July, the time frame is when you were worried about because that's when the new residents were there, the brand new out of school residents. And depending on the residents, like I worked in a pretty intense ICU, and when you got some residents in there, for the most part, new residents really looked to the nursing staff, as well as their fellow doctors and stuff, because they're usually not there working by themselves. They really look to the nursing staff because they know the nurses have more experience than they do at this point. So I would say a lot of the new residents would be would be in rounds or about to do something. I'd be like, hey, the patient, this is happening with the patient. We need to do something. They'd be like, what do you think we should do? Like, you've been here longer. You know what you normally do here, and they'd admit that you're fresh out of school. They're still learning. What would I suggest? And they will see if that's something that they would do. And that's good. That's kind of nice because it shows kind of like a connection in the medical field. They know they're new. They're gonna get
So I mean, I don't see a problem with that, but I also know every time I've ever talked to you about anything medical, you're like, I don't fucking know. I'm just a nurse.
Oh, I always told them it was dehydrated.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I imagine. You're just like, well,
I don't get into.
They got an IV in there because they look like they look a little wrinkly.
I don't get the details of like my medical knowledge and experience to you. Like when I'm dealing with a ICU cardiac patient who's got an LVAD implant and starts to have low flow issues or something like that. You wouldn't know what any of that means. So I'm not going to get into that with you. But you would occasionally also get the cocky ass resident who says basically they know way more than you do because they're a doctor, obviously. Oh my God.
I just fucking saved you.
Me so much.
I saved you.
How did he get stuck here? Look at him.
Oh,
when you're done, I need you to slowly walk over here. Slowly. Oh, he got out.
He knows.
He just hid behind that block. I can't get him. This is stupid.
No one can get these little bastards. They're the strongest mob in the game.
He like literally just
hit him though, man. Like I led that shot and everything.
He was just like sitting here, like nah. That's how I was like, this is crazy. But you get those really cocky residents that don't want to listen to a thing that you say, and that's where it feels extremely dangerous. But I will tell you, the medical industry is a scary industry in the fact that, sure, during the day, you got your residents and stuff there with, a bunch of, attending. You got your fellow who are basically at the very end of their residency and got a lot of experience at this point. They're about to be attending themselves. That's what you have during the day. But
what'd you call them? A fellow?
A fellow. Fellow, F-E-L-L-O-W. Yeah, it's like a fellowship. You go from your residency to your fellowship.
Okay.
But, no, a fellow, like the guy from the novels.
Is that Romeo and Juliet?
I thought maybe.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
But you still, from day one, some resident is there during the night shift. And during the night shift, the resident calls the shots. There's usually a fellow somewhere in-house if you can get a hold of the night shift fellow. Depending on how good the night shift fellow is and how active they want to be, the resident kind of calls a lot of the shots. And you will have, like, literally day one in the hospital, a brand new resident who's never really been in the facility outside of med school now in charge.
That's crazy to me.
Can get a little scary sometimes, for sure.
I would be terrified as that person, even. Like,
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that. I'll be honest. The good ones are terrified. The ones that know their limitations, know they don't really have the experience, but they're the ones that are going to reach out to help from their fellow, the nursing staff, who've been there for many years and seen like similar situations. The ones that aren't scared are the ones that scare me.
Right. Because they're just brazen, I imagine.
Yeah. Well, and I deal with that same type of shit in the fire department all the time. People, like, I ride the front seat. I'm an officer on the engine. I'm still scared every fire that I go to, every major call that I go to, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you are in charge of a fire scene. Like, lives are in my hands. Like, not lives of the people that we're going to save, but lives of the entire crew working that fire scene for the first due engine. It is my responsibility.
Right.
That scares me shitless every time. And then all of a sudden you got these people who just got approved to be a driver basically because we didn't, or an officer, just because we basically didn't have enough officers. And they're like, let's go fucking hit a fire, yippee-ki-yay, type of deal. Like,
every time you talk about going to a fire, all I can still see is that video of you just like breaking everything. And so I can just imagine like, yeah, let's break some shit. We're going to break this door. Break this ceiling. Break this wall.
It's such a poor video of what we actually do. No, a lot of breaking is involved in what you do. And the sad thing is I haven't been to any full-fledged real fires as the first due officer in charge since I've been an officer. I've gone to a couple small fires as either like the rapid intervention crew or like the third or fifth due, depending on when I went to these things and we changed our standards operating procedures. But I've never been the main person in charge on a major fire incident. So I'm still really scared because I can't even I don't even have the cobwebs brushed off, and I've been doing this for over a year now.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, that's one thing I guess I wouldn't mind not having the cobwebs ever brushed off of.
Yeah, fires are nasty things. Like, you don't really want to, but most people who join the fire service, especially volunteers, are doing it because they want to be badasses that, you know,
break some shit.
Break some shit. Run into a burning building. Door. Fuck you, door.
I really want to dub that whole video with just voiceovers. Bob, come in. We got more shit to break.
Hey. You steal that? You see that statue in here? Take it out. That would be quite entertaining to have that video dubbed. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if I were you, I'd be afraid of going to the hospital at a certain time. Though now I'm curious about this whole August versus, you know, June, July time frame that I'm used to.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up the article actually, because it wasn't. I saw this on Reddit actually.
Why are there so many? A lot. You know what? These mobs that have the armor. They're really clogging up this system down here.
What are you gonna do about it?
I don't know. I guess I just need to drop. I need to drop this level lower. Because we got a shit ton of zombies have died down here, though. Got a shit ton of zombie meat if we ever need it. Oh, we need those villager trades?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stacks of zombie meat.
Wow. Oh, yeah, you finally put in hoppers and stuff, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. I really wish I knew.
How much gunpowder we got?
Good question. I don't remember seeing any. Oh no, we got 47. Not as much as I wanted, but 47.
Black Wednesday, the first Wednesday in every August, when the new cohort of junior doctors begin working in the NHS after graduating medical school, where patients are more likely to die by 6%.
And the NHS, National
what's
Hospital System? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what specifically they're referring to when they say NHS. Is that a link? Can you click blue text to take you somewhere else? Is Kevin Bacon the next page?
I'm gonna give you up. Oh. Now I know why you don't know about this. I guess I didn't read very much of it. It's in England.
Oh, so it's a specific. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. Can you look up the?
So I guess in America,
version?
the same thing is, but it's in June, basically.
Is that what it says?
No, it doesn't say that.
I want to know now if this is just a thing that we always talk about at our hospital because that happens to coincide when we do onboarding, or if this is like national across the board. I'm pretty sure it's national, but I've never really looked up the stats.
Probably is. I mean, I feel like this is a thing. Yeah, like it's something that happens. Oh my God, this baby!
You call it Black Wednesday?
That's what they call it.
U.S. Black Wednesday. It's probably like you racist. Blackout Wednesday. Black Wednesday. Yeah, this is United Kingdom. United States. Increased death, new doctor onboarding. I don't know. Of course, increased death, new doctor onboarding. The first article is about suicide. I don't know. It doesn't. When do doctors first start in America? I don't know.
Hey, so when did marijuana?
Marijuana.
This is a holiday. I've just created a holiday.
Marijuana, everybody.
Oh God. Marijuana became legal
America
in your state. You don't really have a state. In your district
last year.
And so is it readily available now, like in dispensaries, or have they not?
No, we don't have. That's the funny thing is there's no place to like buy it yet legally.
That's so weird.
When is that
supposed to happen?
You can grow it. a certain amounts, like for personal use. I don't know the exact like figures on it.
So you just have a plant in your front yard? Somebody'd steal it though.
Oh yeah, but I think you
webcam.
can have it in your front yard though. I actually don't know since I never really looked into doing it. The guy who used to own our house, it was into like. He somehow had like because I think there's medical dispensaries somewhere around here. I just don't think there's personal dispensaries in the district. But he did something. He was part of a dispensary system. And I think our house used to be registered as like a dispensary or something like that in America or in America in the DC. But we constantly get mail from his business, some cannabis research business, and that's why he actually moved to Colorado because he does more stuff with his growing. It was funny. The real estate agent when we were here said that he had moved to Colorado because that's where his like horticulturalist career took him. And I was like, I like looked at her like with the, are you saying what I think you're saying? And she gave me like the yes. Apparently Julia didn't pick up on that until after we like put our bid in stuff on the house, and we were talking about all the stuff that was here at the house that he was trying to sell us. You know, hey, I don't want to move all this stuff. You know, let's make a deal on some of the furniture and stuff that's there. And I mentioned something to her about how, you know, he'd been out there doing his like weed cultivation or whatever, and she's like, "What are you talking about? Why would he be doing weed cultivation?" I'm like, "That's what she meant when he moved to Colorado for his horticulturalist career." And then we started getting all the mail from his like Cannabis Industries or whatever it's called.
So I guess you can't answer my question. I was curious how things have changed since then, but I guess you don't really know.
Not
because you haven't. There's no dispensaries basically yet, so nothing's really changed.
I don't even think the legal purpose of it changed anything. I think I kind of think weed in DC was one of those things that I just got all these trees and I never converted them to. No, I did some of them.
Which is more of a waste of time for police than
yeah. I don't think anybody ever did anything about it. I do find it funny now, and maybe it's just because it is legal, so I notice it more because I know that there's nothing that can be done about it. But I constantly smell it when I'm walking down the street, and I still don't think you're supposed to smoke it just out in public.
You're not supposed to. It's like the same as drinking in public. You're not supposed to do it in public.
I don't think anybody really gives a shit, though. Like, weed is not the thing that's killing people in D.C. It's never been the high priority.
Right.
And granted, throughout the nation, it probably has no reason to be the high priority for anything. Why there's so much
well, it's funny because the federal government, like, reversed its stance on it last month and said that they're going to start cracking down federally on states where it's legal locally.
But why? Like,
I don't know.
I don't understand why they don't just legalize it to then get tax money from it, because there's been so many studies that have proven that basically marijuana does not do the negative effects they originally thought it did. Right. And it's so weird to think that, you know, things like alcohol, not only are they proven to have some negative effects if used in the way that a lot of people use, alcohol, but detrimental to
just like drinking it, really. I mean, that's right, all you have to do with it.
Especially drinking it to the extent that people do. And the fact that at one point was prohibition as an amendment to the Constitution and then repealed. And people don't ever think twice about the fact of, there was prohibition, people didn't like that, they had them turn it back, but weed, terrible thing, bad thing.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to take for that to happen. I feel like there's more important things. And so I think the people that care the most realize there's more important things. Like, let's talk about guns instead of necessarily talking about weed.
Oh, no, but let's just make it easier to get guns instead. That's what we need to talk about.
I mean, it's a good thing they don't have weed. They'd probably go crazy. That madness and shoot everyone.
I mean, yeah, I know. That because the weed definitely the big upper. The big upper that makes people crazy and hallucinate or something, right? Like, those are the negative aspects of weed.
I bring it up because I go to California here, and it's legal there now. I mean, I've been to states where it's legal, but I have a friend that's going with me, and they're very interested in the fact that it's illegal there. They've never been to a state where it's legal. And I mean, I have, so it's not like that big of a deal to me. But yeah,
how long has it been legal in California for?
Well, see, it's been medically legal for many years.
Well, I mean,
they were,
I guess, personally legal with
yeah, no, that was the start of 2018. So it finally passed over. I mean, it got voted on, but it took till 2018 to be processed or whatever the fuck they have to do to make it actually happen.
So
yeah.
I guess when you go there, if you do decide to partake, like, is it one of those things? And this always baffled me about these places, because people who want to smoke weed are going to smoke it anyway, whether it's legal or not.
Right.
All of a sudden, you make it legal, and didn't they have like 6-hour waits at the dispensaries for people to go get it? Yeah. Like, it's like, wait, people are going to get this shit anyway. Why these people are doing crazy things in this room?
Well, I remember after it became legal in Washington State, there was only 2 dispensaries that had been approved. The first PAX West that happened after that, okay. And all the Uber drivers were telling me about how they kept taking people from PAX out there because they wanted to go get some pot, and the wait was like 10 blocks or something crazy like that, where you just could not, you weren't going to get in there today or something because all the PAX goers were out trying to buy weed because they'd never been anywhere where it was legal.
I guess, too, like, when you buy from a place like a real dispensary, what is the price compared to purchasing from, like, your previous supplier that you'd always gotten from before?
I have experience in this, and I will tell you that it's a thing that will make you stop smoking pot illegally, because you'll realize that for all your life you have spent a shitload of money on an inferior product that is way more expensive and illegal and nowhere near as good, and just it's
really so you're getting better quality, cheaper stuff that they made it legal.
Yes.
See, I was kind of expecting for some reason the opposite. Now, oh god, there's baby zombie.
Well, because I mean, they've been perfecting the strains through the medical marijuana for years, right? So they have this stuff worked out, like pot wise. So you know they've already perfected it when it was just for medical reasons. It's the same pot they're selling now for the recreational use.
Interesting. I guess I don't know why. I guess that makes a lot more sense. I don't know why in my mind I assumed that you were getting a better quality product from a dealer.
No. I mean, there's no future for pot dealers, basically.
Why do I have this block here? That was weird. Watch this thing work like amazing now.
It does seem like they move off more when I've been coming up and down. I really think what we need to do is perfect where we stand, to get them to spawn at a good rate. Why does it do that sometimes? I hate it when it does that.
What's it do?
Place the block down below when I'm definitely not clicking down below.
I keep having the problem where I'm shift clicking at the trapdoors and it keeps placing a block on top of the trapdoors. How did you land on top of that, creeper? Didn't make any sense.
I do think that more regulation needs to take place with legal marijuana, though. I think that's something that needs to get looked at sooner rather than later, because it's only going to pose a problem later. Like it suffers from the problem, which I don't feel like Camel cigarettes technically suffered from this problem, though. I do admit, whenever I was a kid, Joe was a badass and he was really cool.
You think the stigma around it, or like
I think the problem is that they're making Fruit Loops and they're making gummy bears and all this shit. Are
they really?
Oh yeah. When you go into any of these dispensaries, you can buy literally Fruit Loops. I mean, that they look exactly like a Fruit Loop. They are Fruit Loops, but they have pot in them. You buy gummy bears, gummy worms, all of these products that you know as a kid as candy you can buy in dispensaries, but they're pot. I think that needs to be I think that needs to be looked at and corrected sooner rather than later, because otherwise this is going to be a problem at some point.
I ran out of wood. That's why I was flipping all this up. No, I completely agree, and I also think that there's right now the big disconnect between, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing if you're looking at taking away the candy aspect of it too, but you got a big disconnect between employers and the legal ability to do something. And they're basically saying, hey, it's legal for you to do this on a recreational level. By the way, we're still going to drug screen you and
Well, that's because nationally, your healthcare provider may not even exist inside of your state technically, and that's still a requirement for the healthcare provider that you not be,
for your
a pot user
provider?
on the job or whatever.
For your healthcare provider? What's your healthcare provider have to do with it?
Well, insurance is provided by your workplace, and so for them to get the insurance discounts or so on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, what if you get? I don't even think you can bring insurance into it because that's that has nothing to do with employment status.
Well, so here's the thing, like one of the places I used to work at, the only reason why they drug screened was because it gave them a discount on insurance.
On the insurance they purchased for themselves, though, not the insurance that they gave to the employees.
No, the insurance they gave to the employees. They got a discount on that insurance if they did company-wide drug screenings. This information broke Jeff.
No, I'm trying to think about how it's funny to me because I understand that I can't drink on the job. But you can't tell me that I'm not allowed to drink ever to be employed by you.
Right.
But
I think it's a lot more difficult with things like pot because you can't really just you don't know if someone's stoned, and you can't say
well, and you don't know, and just because they have marijuana or the THC showing up positive on a test doesn't mean they did it within the past 30 days.
Right.
And I do think that is where there does become a big disconnect, and if they could get I don't know, that's where I have a funny issue with it is, yeah, it's legal in DC, but I still would never even partake in it right now because there's a possibility I can get drug screened at my job and then lose my nursing license.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, technically, part of my divorce is we could have each other drug tested at any point. I can just request that Crystal gets drug tested. She can say to me. So technically, if I was in California, yeah, at any point. Though if it comes back negative, that person has to pay for it. Is it still illegal in your state? Yeah, it's still illegal in North Carolina.
Okay, I mean, I guess that would be different if it was legal in your state, though.
Yeah, but that does pose a question to me that if I was in a state where it was legal and I smoked some pot, did I do a thing that should affect my my ability to still be a parent?
Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's kind of weird because now you're dealing with you did something legal and it was still within the not even saying you went to a country or well, I guess the question even comes on international waters. I guess international waters are no laws, right? You theoretically kill people out there. And
can you?
I don't know if you really can or not.
It's like a world law against murder.
Yeah, I don't know if you really can or not, or if that's just an old wives' tale type deal, the whole shading
movie thing.
But
well, I mean, I've definitely gone to casinos where they take you out to international waters, and then we start gambling.
I mean, that's cool, but maybe it's all part of the show. Maybe how funny would it be if they really did have a full-fledged license, and they were just this is all part of the gimmick that gets people to come and
I don't think so because it's a long ass fucking a 2-hour boat ride.
Well, they can't make it feel like you're getting it for free. They gotta bring on the facade, And the longer they have you on the boat, the more likelihood that you're gonna spend money that you really can't afford to.
Well, that's the worst part is you can't do anything until you actually get out there. So you're just sitting there hating life, waiting to gamble.
There's nothing you can do at all.
I mean, they have food, but it's awful.
And you buy it.
No, well, I mean some people probably do. I didn't.
But it's there. It's for sale.
Yeah, well, there was a buffet I remember that was part of the thing. You got it, but it wasn't worth even eating. But I think there's other stuff. There probably is some shit for sale. It probably is.
And every time you leave this place, but leave the things down, guys are coming down and crashing onto them.
I don't know why I'm coming back down here. I didn't get enough wood. I just went up there and chopped a little bit of wood, and I'm coming back.
I got a decent amount, but this one is, I think this one's finished, isn't it?
It was close. It needed a couple.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see where you left off here. It is funny to watch creepers just go whizzing by your head, though.
Yeah, a little scary, too.
I came down here, there's a bunch of creepers in here, so I had to take them out with the bow.
I wonder if this is going to be any better.
I don't know. We're almost done, so we'll find out real soon.
Yeah, I think that was it, actually. Yeah, that was it. That's the last one.
Oh, well then. Let's go find out if it worked.
So where should we stand?
I mean, I hoped to make it that you would stand. I guess we gotta close the gates first. You gotta put wood in front of where the doors are, because the doors leak light. Or you gotta put some type of block in front of the doors.
Okay, how many layers are there? So there's 1.
This is
2.
3.
Yep.
4. 5.
6.
It's just. Did we ever get in that one?
Yeah, I did it.
Okay, 7. Oh, wait, this one's got lights in it still. Hold on. Oh, I didn't realize you were coming down here.
This one get finished?
I don't know. There's lights in it though.
It looks like finished.
And this is what, 7?
Yeah.
Hey, don't be fighting us. There we go.
Yeah. 8, 9, 10. And there's what, 1 on top? Well, this one's 1. 11. It's just 11 or is it 12?
I think there's 11, it looks like.
Okay, so we should stay in the middle of those.
Well, I'm going to go down to where my platform is now, which is here. This is almost... Oh my god, I just fell. I'm dying. What the hell? I somehow fell all the way to the bottom, and I either caught the ladder at the last second, or the game caught up the fact that I was actually, like, holding on and just kept making me drop. I mean, where is that?
So I think, like, right here where this redstone at is about middle point.
This is the spot, though. Like, hit the...
This is where you stand?
Yeah, this is it. Right here. Like, come look. This is what the redstone's for.
What's it do?
This is just, it brings out this platform right here, so that they stop on it and don't die. And you can hit them, get the thing. Otherwise, you go like this, and it opens.
And they do die, right?
Yeah, and it opens it up for. Well, I guess apparently they don't. They don't necessarily die if they're wearing armor. I probably need to dig this down a little bit more. The collection point. Creeper. Boink. He died. But I mean, that's what this thing was designed for.
Probably should have made it out of obsidian.
I mean, we probably still can. I just... Well,
yeah.
I guess you can't really make the bottom out of obsidian.
Oh, you can't push obsidian?
No. Somehow I got this obsidian thing next to me, though, and I think this was just... Oh, this is because this is a lava over here, yeah. So... It really just comes down to why ain't shit spawning right now if we did this so right.
I mean, let's give it like a few minutes.
Like in between episodes, a few minutes?
Yeah, I guess so. We'll be back.
All right, see ya.